Hello? Hello? Okay, everyone. Good morning. I'm using this mic because I have been known through the whole IAT of having a very low-pitched voice. Yes, I don't shout. Murray never said that on the day one when he saw me. That I'm using the mic. No, but I want you to hear me. I want you to hear what I'm going to say. One question I'm going to ask at the beginning of the presentation, Mr. Ahmed. One question I'm going to ask. That's okay? Can you hear me?
Without the mic, we can't hear you.
Without the mic?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but very loud voice.
Oh my God. Start the question again. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I don't know what to say. Anybody has any questions?
You've said it all.
Actually, I have two reasons to hate Omar and Nawasi. He's not here. But I have two reasons to hate Omar and Nawasi. One is our lead teacher. No, apart from he is our lead teacher. The first two reasons is number one. My presentation was placed number 4. It came number 4. Why? I don't know. But it makes me feel it makes me feel that there is what we call arbab and nafarat. We call people who start and people who end at the last. Yeah. And number 2, we have experience here in this room that is 4 times my whole life. We are all experienced, and we have people who are much more experienced than we can imagine. And I actually didn't know what to say. Why am I here? What new things I can bring to this honorable room and say to you? Well, guys, I really don't know. You are much more experienced than I am. You certainly can train me. You certainly can teach me in any context. No, it's not too humble. It's the truth. But it's 4 times my whole life. So I chose something away from teaching. Something that might affect us all in all our lives. Something more personal, on a personal level. Why have I chosen the name Abdram Macbeth has come? Anybody here familiar with the story itself? Macbeth, of course, most of us is familiar, right? Yes. What's the story of Macbeth? Mrs. Zakaria? Can you tell us, please? Please.
I know this sounds
Yes? Yes, Mrs. Zakaria. Please? Anybody? Mrs. Zakaria doesn't want to say. Anybody wants to tell me what's the story of Macbeth? What's Macbeth's story? Okay, let's start with Omar and Nawasi, even though I hate you.
Macbeth for me is a tragedy. That's all the guys tell the
It's a tragedy, yes. No, we are not here in a Shakespeare class. This is not a drama class. But we are just to mention the story. What's the story? What happened to Macbeth? Yes.
He was a king.
He was not a king, actually. He was a prince. He was a thane. Right? And then he had a prophecy from 3 witches. They told him, you are going to be a thane of Kodor. You are going to be a prince, a higher prince. And then a king hereafter. After that time, you are going to become a king. And then what did he do? Did he wait? On the same day of the prophecy, he knew that he became the thane of Kodor. He knew that he became promoted being a prince. And could he wait for more time? No. He started what? Changing his life. He started, yes, changing his life according to the prophecies. That's why I chose that name. Okay? Because we are going to change our lives. Even Macbeth used, of course, the wrong methods, and he was a killer, a murderer. He wanted to be a king at the wrong time, but he wanted that, and he changed himself, and he became so, and he died at the end. Okay. Do we remember this? I'm sorry, I'm going to say many stories today.
No.
Yes, a story. Short story. Yeah, I used to sit at a coffee shop and tell a story to others. Yes, and play on. So, do you remember the story of the farmer, the goose, and the golden egg?
Yeah.
Anybody know?
Something about a village that he killed all the little kids from the village.
Yeah,
He killed the goose.
He killed the kids.
The goose
Mr. Sharif?
to get the egg. And the farmer used to have a goose.
Yes.
He used to give him a golden egg every day.
One day, yes, he was surprised to find the goose giving him
A golden egg.
A golden egg. And
But
then
he
what
rushed.
did he do?
He rushed it all night.
No, he didn't kill it on the spot. He waited. He took a lot of eggs. Every day in the morning, he gets an egg. And then, what happened?
He
The
rushed
farmer
it
became
all
what?
Greedy.
Greedy. He wanted to get more. So the farmer started to, he opened the goose's stomach to get more eggs. And what did he find? Nothing. Actually, let's look at the story from a different point of view. What are the main elements in the story? What are the three elements in the whole story?
Gold is the farmer.
Yeah, correct. Farmer, number two.
Green is the good.
Yes. The golden egg and the goose. These three elements actually, guys, are present every day in our life. Let's see how. What does each element mean? Number one, the farmer is actually me and you. Everyone is a farmer.
Not me.
Right? Everyone. No, you are a farmer also.
What is it?
Actually, you are the most famous farmer in our farm. Yeah. And what about the golden egg? It's your product. It's whatever you produce. Whatever you come up with. A report. A relationship. A nice piece of food that you cook in the morning before you come to work. I'm sorry, I'm a bachelor. That's why I give these examples. Yeah. And the last one is the goose. What does the goose represent? It represents your production capability, your ability to produce something. And each one of us has an ability to produce this thing. And we should take care of this ability. Don't stress your ability. Don't burden it over more, or overburden it more. Right? Now, how can we take care? How can we improve these three things in our lives? How can we do that? We can do that by simply reading a book or listen to CDs. It's a group of CDs. It's called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Highly effective people at work, highly effective people at home, highly effective people with their friends, with their families, with everything in your life. You can do that.
Which perspective?
Sorry?
From which perspective?
From any perspective that you want. Just tell the perspective and we can apply the 7 habits together. Any habit in your life is actually an outcome of your own decision to do this habit. It was said once, I think it's Aristotle who said that. It was said once by one of the philosophers that there is no difference between a street cleaner and a very, very high philosopher, but the matter of habits, what they do, what you force yourself to do every day. And if you force yourself to do something for 22 consecutive days, guess what? You will change. It becomes a habit, yes. It becomes a habit in your life. It's very easy, but no one actually looks at it. Why? Why don't we look at that? We are preoccupied with a lot of ideas. We always say, I don't know. I will not be able to do that. Can you do that? No, I cannot do that. No, I'm too weak. I'm too tired. I am too busy. Sometimes you say that to yourself. But guess what? You can do it. Number one of the 7 habits is to be proactive. And we always hear that word, be proactive. What's the meaning of be proactive? Anybody know? Yeah? What's the meaning of be proactive?
Don't wait someone to tell you to do something.
Don't wait, that's what I mentioned. Don't wait for someone to tell you to do something. What else?
Take the initiative.
Take the initiative. That's number 2, good thing. Anything else? Be a leader. Well,
Be a pioneer.
I will never be a leader. I will always be the person who is led. I know myself. I know my skills.
Actually, there's one thing that comes before being a leader, which is being a pioneer. Because a pioneer is a higher level than leadership.
Yeah, foreseeing the future. Yes, foreseeing the future. Actually, being proactive is to take care of your own self more than others. Take care of your own problems more than others. Yes. Do not think a lot about judging others, how they do, what they do, are they good or not, are they bad or not. No. Try to think about yourself more. How to improve your own problems more than others. And my number one problem is Mr. Omar Nabrasi. He's moving too much. Okay. Number one, how can I be proactive? Steps to be proactive. Number one, write down. Oh my God. Write down. Write down what? What do I need to write down?
Your goals.
My goals,
Ambitions.
ambitions, anything that you want to do, write it down. Anything that you want to do, write it down. What you want to do. Of course, you can write it down if you are a visual person, and you can just think about it if you are like another kind of whatever. Step number 2, again, write down. But write down what? What does?
What you did.
How to get there?
What you
You are
did.
close, Omar. You are very close. It's not how.
What you did.
It's when. Put deadlines to yourself. I'm going to do this tomorrow. I'm going to do that in a couple of months. I'm going to improve my relationship with my wife in the next couple of centuries. Yeah. Well, it takes you 2 centuries. Okay, number 3. Do not wait. Never wait. Never wait. Never wait for what? Always anticipate what will happen and then go to it. It's what Bitwali and Ismail was saying. Initiate. Take it. Take the initiative. Right? Ismail. Mr. Ismail. Oh, sorry, Mr. Ismail. I'm sorry. Yeah. Don't wait. Anticipate what might happen. And then number 4, do not look. Do not look for what?
Here and there.
Do not look here and there. Like me, you mean? I look here and there.
For the
The
others.
problem?
For the others. Look
Yes,
first.
you are correct. For others' approval, trust yourself, trust your own. Thank you so much, Mr. Kareem. It seems that you read the book before.
I don't know.
Actually, I have the book here with me if you want to borrow it. Just 500 dirhams. Yeah. And then, deal with
Troubles.
What's the biggest enemy in our life?
Fears.
Our own what, yes?
Fears.
Very good. Thank you so much, Mr. Sharif. Thank you. You deal with your fears. Do not say, but what if? If something happens, I will. No. Do not think about it. Never think about it, because actually they are all hinders. They are all obstacles in your life. They are not more than that. Yes. So what was number 1? Be what?
Proactive.
Be what? Yes, sorry?
Proactive.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because I have a very bad memory, very bad short span memory. So number 2, begin with the end in mind. How many of us have a plan for anything in our lives? Except, of course, apart from our plan in work, apart from our plans at work. Yes? So we have plans. How many of us set goals in our life? See, it's a very small number of us that do that. Even though it's a very important thing.
Only ladies.
Yeah, only ladies.
No one. Only ladies.
Because actually the males are more preoccupied with other things, like
Busy, we
getting
are
a job,
busy.
working, and what about number 3? Number 3, if you have a plan, first, do not just make a plan and full stop and then follow anything. No, you have to prioritize your objectives. Right. So these are 3. Let's go to number 4. Number 4 actually is an interesting point. It's think when. What's the meaning of think when? Anybody has an idea? Positively? What do you mean by positively? Don't give me big words, please. I'm a very, very primitive thinker.
Don't plan to.
Sorry, Mr. Ismail.
Be cooperative and help.
Be cooperative and helpful. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Ismail.
Plan to win, not on the expense of other people.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Plan to win not on the expense of others. If you are dealing with someone as friends, or as a colleague, or as a supervisor, or as even your son, or as your whatever, a person you met on the road, do not deal with him as a superior, and you will win and he will lose. No. Deal with him as a partner. Make yourself, yes, win. Think about yourself, but also think about others' way of thinking. Yes, Mr. Karim.
I have example also for the team playing a football match. If you plan to win, so you will win or draw. But if you plan for draw, so you will lose or draw.
Definitely. Yes. Let's look at other types of thinking. We have 6 types of thinking. Number 1 is win-win. Number 2 is yes. How do we win-lose? How do we win-lose? Yes. What do you think of people who are winning on the expense of others? Do you think they are going to gain popularity?
They're practical.
You will hate them. How many people here deal with a win-lose? attitude. Actually, this is what we call practical sometimes. Sometimes. Yes. Mr. Nasib, of course, he played one lose with me. Yes, I remember that.
But sometimes you play lose-lose.
What about the other one?
Lose-win.
Lose-win. Do you think we can think lose-win sometimes?
Yeah.
No.
Sometimes sacrifice.
Yes, Mr. Well.
If you're competing,
Sorry, 1 minute, please.
if you're trying to teach your kids something and you're competing against them, you lose just to give them the impression.
Yes, yes, that's good. That's a good example.
So you
Also,
lose
when you
in
are
practice.
unaware of
And
something.
maybe if one person lose and if that is going to be a victory of a group or a nation, if I need to step back and lose and that is
For the sake of sacrifice.
for the-
That's a very good example.
Time, but when money, see?
Yeah.
You're working, you're losing time.
You lose something, but you win another thing. Yes, of course. And in some situations, you are placed in a lose-win situation. Like, for example, if you are asking your students about their culture, about something in their life, in that case, you are talking in a subject that you don't have any idea about. You will lose in that subject, but they will win. So do not think that when you lose, this means you are a complete loser. No, that's a temporary time for later on. Yes, use it as a temporary. What about the other one?
Lose-lose.
Yes, lose. A loser.
Lose.
Right? But he's not only a loser. No. He is not a loser. No. He's a loser who makes sure that you lose also. Right? In that minute, I think you will hate those kinds of people. Right? What's the next one, do you think? What's the next one?
Nothing.
Come on, these are only 4. We have 6.
Nothing.
No, we have they only win. That's a what? What do you think about the person who thinks only win? Yes, thank you. A selfish person. I win. I don't care what happens to you. What happens to those people?
One day he will lose. They become leaders.
Not only that, they become more isolated than
Yeah.
than a win-lose situation, right? They are more isolated from the society. So do not do that. Do not only think about winning alone. Yes, Mr. Sorry. What about the last and most interesting one? I think this is the most noble one of them all. Win-win or no deal.
Have everything.
Can somebody give me an example of that? How can we think win-win or no deal?
Scratch my back, scratch your back, or nothing at all.
Or, yeah, but there is no hard feelings.
No.
Yeah, that's
What do you mean by maybe?
Sorry?
What do you mean by
No hard feelings. When I say no dealing, no deal means no hard feelings between us. It's either we went together or we leave it at home. I have a company, and I went to, for example, a software company to design a program to me. Then when I make a program, my colleagues and my people didn't like the program very much. So I took the program back to the company, the software company, and they said to me, well, okay, here is your money, bring us the software, thank you so much. In case you need any help in the future, just come to us. That's a win-win or no deal. This means they don't care about their profit, but they care about a mutual understanding, a mutual relationship between us, right? So these are the 6 types of thinking. What was number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 in
Proactive. Proactive.
Be proactive.
Begin with the end.
Begin with the end in mind.
Think.
Think what? Win. Win-win. Win-win is the best one actually. To the right. It's the best one. Yes. What was number 4?
Priorities.
Thank you so much. Priorities. Prioritize your work. Sorry. Seek first to understand and then be understood. And I don't know why I have a problem with this state. I always block myself from others. When my students come to the class, I tell them, well, where were you? Why are you absent? Why are you late? You don't know what will happen to you? And I never ask them why. I never ask them why were they away from class. Maybe there is something wrong with me. But I'm sorry, I realized that by the end of the year. Maybe I will change next year, inshallah. So I must first seek to understand my students, and then make them understand me, right? I think that's a very interesting idea. Okay, number 6, synergy. Anybody here from the... Yeah, synergy? What's the meaning of synergy? Can somebody tell?
Group work?
Yeah. It is group work. And again from the dictionary. Yes. Actually, I looked it up in the dictionary, I didn't find it. I'm an English teacher, but I need another person to. So synergy is group work. Group work. Most of us are unfamiliar with the meaning of group work, including myself. I don't know actually what's the meaning of being in a group. Does this mean that we cooperate together and I take your work and you take my work? Does this mean that I steal your ideas and I go to my supervisor and say, well, sir, here is the work. It's my work. Is that a group work? What does a group work mean? Share. Share. This means that when I share something with you, you have to share something with me?
Yeah, all the work we have to do together.
It's actually dividing work and responsibility equally among team players.
But don't you think that the word equal is something
I'm
relative?
not talking about the amount of work distributed. I'm talking about how much effort everybody is putting in there.
Yes, how much effort. Not only how much, with the quality of effort itself. Because some people are more skillful. Yes, Mr. Smith, sorry. Some people are more skillful in some ideas or in some areas, while others are more skillful in other ideas. So we need to understand that. We need to understand what skills am I good at? What can I do better than the others? How can I fit into that group? I remember that in somewhere here in the country, they refuse to give a job to someone who doesn't fit into a group. If you are, for example, a teacher, and you want to work in that place, you will never work unless you stay for 1 week with them and prove to be a good part of a team. Sorry? Well, thank you for telling me that. I didn't want to say names. They are competitors. Come on. This thing is recorded. Come on. Your name is out. Okay. So that's the importance of group work. What about the last one? Sharpen the soul. What do you think sharpen the soul would be? How can I improve myself by sharpening my soul? And if anyone talks to me, I'm going to kill him. Get back to number 6? Okay, I will give you time at the end of the presentation to get back to any point you want.
Sharpen your skills.
Sharpen your skills. That's a good way, but I'm sorry, it's only close. Anybody else?
So stands for what?
So what do you think sharpen the soul would be? Fit it in this context. I want to improve myself, so I'm going to sharpen my soul.
Your willingness.
Your willingness, maybe. Yeah.
Learn more skills,
Improve more skills. Yes.
Learn skills.
You are talking again about development, and you are not talking about your own self. Working too much, working too hard, working 24 hours, 5 days a
Killing
week,
yourself.
7, killing yourself
Killing yourself.
would never sharpen your soul. We are just like cars. If we work more than the 5,000 kilometers with the oil would get burnt. We never stop. How many of us take real break? How many of us use their own breaks in a real time that they enjoy? Enjoy. When I say enjoy, means individually. You enjoy. How many? Maybe 1, 2, 3. Not more than that. If we take break, we either smoke cigarette, or we smoke shisha, right? Or we watch a film. That's not what I mean. I mean taking a real break and relax, right?
Do something they love.
Do something you like or love. Develop a kind of hobby for yourself. That's sharpening your soul. Now, after that, before we get into practice, I just want you to ask any question or comment if Mr. Smith has a comment.
The point about teamwork, it's a very important aspect because if you are all after a win-win relation, sometimes we have to dedicate more of our skills and time, even if it's not part of our responsibilities. Like the story I had when I went to Carrefour asking, I wanted to buy a house.
Okay, can I ask you just something, Mr. Smith? Are you sure this is a win-win relation? When you dedicate more to your work,
Yes.
is this a win-win relation or just win?
No, it's not.
Are you sure?
Because if you want a win-win relation, you need first to offer help to people who need your help in a
Is
certain
offered
aspect.
every time or just offered when needed?
No, I mean you offer it when needed, when you are asked for it, or when you know that you have something that others don't have. If you just keep silent and don't say I can help with that, it means you are betraying your group. for your
Yes.
team. In a way, or
Honesty, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
So in one example, very quick thing, I went to Carrefour asking for a hard drive, and I asked the salesman to, format it for me to divide the partition. He said it's okay, I can do it. After I bought it, I gave it to him, and he gave it to his supervisor. And he said, no, it's against our policy, we can't do it. I told him why. It will take you only a minute. He said, you can't do it in the first place. So he tried to betray me or to fool me by saying things which is not true. I told him, no, technically speaking, you can't do it. He said, but it's not my responsibility.
I think
And this is again is the main point. If you think that you have a job description and you shouldn't exceed the description of the job, it means you are betraying the organization you're with.
Sometimes you betray them without knowing.
Yeah,
Sometimes you betray them without knowing that.
Keep the hard disk, I'll take my money back and I get it from another.
And they lost the customer. They lost the customer because not because he took the hard disk from you, no, because the right piece of information was not communicated to the right personnel.
Yeah.
That was the only time we went to
Yeah. So yes, any questions?
What was the question regarding the purchase?
What was my question? Yeah.
When you showed us the group work number 6, the synergy.
Yeah.
What was the question that you asked?
I don't recall that question actually. I don't remember that I asked any question.
You don't understand the meaning of
Yeah, what's the meaning of group work? We should understand the meaning of group work. Before we say we need group work here, it's not a couple of guys who are doing the work and the rest of the group is doing nothing, right? And this is usually what happens. A couple of guys do the whole work and 3 guys are just watching, observing.
In the students.
I'm talking about general things. Don't you remember when you introduced me here, you said even at your house? I think we should develop that skill. As a team, even between our friends, we should develop that because we are this kind of thinking is not developed among us. Any more questions here? So can we just say them again? The 7 habits of highly effective people.
proactive.
Being proactive.
Think win-win.
Think win-win.
Sharpen
Begin with the end in mind.
Sharpen the sword.
Prioritize.
Sharpen the sword.
Synergy and sharpen your soul. Right. There's no one.
Priorities.
We said prioritize. Come on.
Right now.
Second one was the right answer.
No, the right down was start with that. No.
It was under.
No, number 7, there's one. Believe me. First, seek to
Understand.
Yes, thank you so much. First, seek to understand others before you be understood. Right? It's the others first before you. Right? Okay. So let's do some kind of practice. These are situations. Just read the situation and tell me which habit fits this situation. This has to be done individually, guys. I believe each individual is stronger than he when he works alone.
Begin with the end in mind.
Oh. Which one is that? Which one could be?
Sharpen the sword.
Understand and
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Shree. It's what?
understand.
Synergy.
It's synergy. We should think synergy here, right? Because working alone will never be more effective than working with group. I don't know why that sound, but I tried to delete it. I have no financial commitment this month. I don't care what will happen next month.
And they prioritize.
Yeah, prioritize. Yes. The first thing is first. You are correct. What about the other one? Sorry for the.
Understand. Then be
Understand,
understood.
then be understood.
First, understand.
Then be understood.
Yes. No, I'm sorry. That would be an explosion. That would be an explosion. I'm sorry.
Think win-win.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Anwar. Yes. Be proactive. Here she is only thinking about the way he was talking to her, but she's not thinking about her own problems. Right? Of course, this can be done with men and women. It's the same. But because I'm actually, that's why I chose this. Yeah.
You didn't say my wife, otherwise they'll punch
You don't know the nature.
Yeah. You don't know the nature?
Because I came home late.
I am not aware. All the information I get on that topic is from films only.
Don't trust.
Okay, a teacher to student. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about? You have been 10 minutes late to class. And that is a mistake. Understood? That's me. That's typically me. Ahmed Taha. Yes. And I will not do that again next year. Yeah. I'll clean up my desk, format my PC. Again, this is typically me. It doesn't work well while chatting. And then I will write the report later tomorrow. Yes, that's priorities. We have to have priorities. And then, a colleague to his colleague, if I have helped you and covered your previous mistake, then you will have to do the same and cover me up tomorrow. Think win-win. Is that a win-win situation?
No, that's a clutch.
Yes, that's a completely win-lose situation. Yes. Okay. I'm always busy. I have a lot of work to do. I work all days, even the weekends. Yes. Please, guys, don't forget to sharpen the saws. Thank you so much for your time. Any questions? I'm here. You're welcome.
Please, if you have any questions, just
Don't worry, guys, about the presentation. I'm going to send the soft copy to you all.